Ms. Barbara Smith, and this is our interview about your path to your current position here at University of Charleston. So when did you know that you wanted to be a pharmacist?
Well, I was always interested in the healthcare field and wasn't really sure which path to take. I guess one person that really influenced me a lot was my typing teacher. At that point in time, I wanted to be a dental assistant. He said, "Don't be a dental assistant, be the dentist." He always wanted me to shoot higher than what I felt like I could do. So that didn't really inspire me to become a pharmacist, but it just helped my wheels turn because I kind of was interested in healthcare, but I also wanted to be a teacher. Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh, wow.
So actually, when I signed up for college, I was signed up for teaching classes. And then the summer before I started college, I just kind of had my wheels turning about more health-related issues, steering away from teaching, and then going more toward the health-related field. So I decided to get a job in a pharmacy when I was in undergrad. So I did that, and my first day behind the counter, I realized that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I just loved it.
Yeah.
The pharmacist that I observed was really fun to work with, and I loved the way he talked to the patients and helped explain their medication and make recommendations for over-the-counter meds and things like that. So really, he would have been the one that really inspired me to go into pharmacy. He gave me the chance to work in his pharmacy to see if I'd like to do that.
Yeah. So where did you go to pharmacy school?
I went to West Virginia University. I went to Global State College undergrad. That was a teacher's college.
Yeah.
So that's where I was signed up to go. But then my first week of class, I changed all my classes to like a medical or pre-medical track.
Did you do a residency after pharmacy school?
No, I did not. There really wasn't such a thing at that time.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a PharmD at the time. So.
What was the type of pharmacy setting of your first job after you graduated?
Okay, I worked hospital pharmacy 32 hours a week and community pharmacy at an independent drugstore for 8 hours a week.
Oh,
And I did that for 10 years.
So you got a taste of both.
I did, and I loved it. So then I made a switch. After 10 years, we started having pharmacy students, P4s from West Virginia University, come down to do rotations in our community. So they wanted more help at the community pharmacy, so they asked me to come on board full time. So that's what I did. So did that for 17 years.
Okay, so what other positions have you held throughout your career?
I also worked as a relief pharmacist for CVS Pharmacy. I just floated to different stores whenever they had a need, mainly on weekends, just a day here and there. And I also worked full-time there for a few months as well.
Okay. How did you become interested in diabetes management?
Well, the pharmacist that was the owner of the pharmacy that I worked in, the independent pharmacy that I went full-time with after 10 years, he was really good at seeing down the road and seeing what problems are. And we really had a lot of patients with diabetes coming in to get blood glucose meters and had questions about their meds and about diabetes. And he encouraged me to take the CDE test, the Certified Diabetes Educators Exam. So I did that in 1995. And we could just see that there was a real need for that. And our business was really getting busy with a lot of patients with diabetes, lots of questions, as I mentioned. So we were making a lot of recommendations. We just kind of educated ourselves more on diabetes more so than what a lot of other pharmacies did. We actually got to the point where the other pharmacies in town would say, "I don't know anything about that. Go ask Barb."
And so how did that get you to your current practice site? And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Actually, we were just kind of one of the leaders in the state of doing innovative things in pharmacy. We started a diabetes education program. We did blood pressures, we did blood sugars, we did health fairs. I took my P4s out in the community to do health fairs. We worked at the senior center and worked with them doing screenings and education. We actually had groups of patients on Medicare that came in and we showed them all how to use blood glucose meters and taught them about diabetes. And it took our time. Whenever we had a patient that would need a blood glucose meter, nobody went out the door unless they didn't have time without getting educated on that meter or getting counseled on their medication for diabetes. So it just kind of grew, and we just kind of got the reputation that the pharmacy was basically the diabetes education center in our area. And then we just did so many things, and our store was the first one to build PEIA and get paid for it, for doing blood glucose monitor counseling. and I actually called insurance company and billed for services for diabetes education. So our name kind of got out there, and we actually got awards for it. And whenever I was getting ready to change positions, I ran into actually Mr. Boyer, and I told him that I was getting ready to make a career change from the community pharmacy, and he actually gave me a phone call and asked if I'd be interested in getting into academia. A whole lot that I would do differently.
That's good.
So, I mean, I'm
That's
very
great.
happy with the profession.
Yeah.
I've never regretted one day in the profession. I love it. I love the satisfaction that it gives me helping people, and I love having an impact on the next generation of pharmacists. So, I can't think of anything really that I'd do differently. Might have maybe do a board certification or something if I would have known ahead of time, or maybe even residency. But like I said, residencies didn't exist, and a PharmD didn't exist at that time. Mr. Boyer was like, I think 2 years behind me in pharmacy school. At that time, we just didn't have that option. That option became available to us later on, but at that point, there wasn't a salary difference. You had quite a bit of time and money commitment to go back to do the PharmD. And at that point, I wasn't entertaining the thought of doing academia. But I kind of indirectly have been since 1992 with my pharmacy students at P4s.
Yeah. Okay. Can we pause? What are the major challenges or difficulties you faced as a pharmacist, and then how did you overcome them?
Okay. Well, the biggest challenge was especially when I first got out of pharmacy school. The class ahead of me was the first class that had more than 50% women.
Wow.
And there had never been a woman pharmacist in my community. Only a lady that had substituted occasionally for one of the pharmacists. So it's like that was one of the challenges. The women, well, the customers, not just the women, but people just didn't realize that there were female pharmacists out there. So it was kind of like a change in the gender, identification. Now we have more women pharmacists than we do men pharmacists. So anyway, it was a little bit of a challenge because patients would walk into the pharmacy and ask for the pharmacist, and I'd say, I am the pharmacist. And they'd say, no, I want to talk to the pharmacist. They'd look back around the prescription counter and so forth. Really, I am the pharmacist, but I want the man pharmacist. So gaining patients' trust in the beginning, or getting them to even believe that I was the pharmacist. And everybody in the store that I worked with, it was just like one big happy family. They would always tease me. Yeah, they don't believe that you're the pharmacist, and they don't want to come talk to you. One day I actually came to work, and they had this big sign up in the back of the pharmacy, caution, woman pharmacist on duty. And then they always refer to me as the woman pharmacist. So anyway, it was just kind of a change in the profession where more women were becoming pharmacists. I kind of had to overcome that a little bit and gain patients' trust that women do know what they're doing, and there are women pharmacists. So it was kind of a funny. In retrospect, it wasn't funny at the time. I actually kind of got mad about it. Anyway, I got mad because my coworkers were teasing. But anyway, it was harmless. But, I just got to the point where I gained everybody's respect and moved on up.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for asking.
Really informative.